All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. Going to be In Your House 2. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, man. Let's jump right into this. This was In Your House 2, July 23rd, 1995, from Nashville, Tennessee. Just under 6,500 on hand for this. The buy rate for this was very low. They only had estimated 280,000 on this one.
Yeah, the business was in the toilet at this point. Bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
I will say this. This was the first In Your House that I started getting only because Shawn Michaels was the challenger for the Intercontinental Championship and I wanted to see it.
I went to my friend Peter's house. He had the hot box.
I wish I had the hot box for 1995. But in any event, yeah, the card here wasn't too bad. You had a couple of title matches, the lumberjack match. I mean, it was pretty interesting. Let's just jump right into it.
Just a quick note: Brett was supposed to fight Hakushi on this pay-per-view again. It was supposed to be the rematch, but then they decided they were done with the Hakushi feud. They felt like it really wasn't working. Which, I mean, their first match I thought was good. So I don't.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's not his fault that he's not really good on the mic or anything. I mean, he couldn't really speak the language, but that's not his fault.
His style just was not. WWE wasn't ready for his style at that point.
Later on, he would have been perfect. He would have came in with the cruiserweights and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even the Attitude Era, I think Hakushi would have done. He was an ECW guy.
Absolutely. And I believe then they pivot to the Jean-Pierre Lafitte feud because he stole Bret Hart's jacket.
Oh, wow.
Because pirates steal stuff, so he stole his jacket.
Repo Man stole Savage's hat, so.
Oh my God! And then Rick Martel steal Tatanka's feather?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got a lot of Vince has got a lot of thieves in his
got like
his
a roster for that sort of stuff. Bam Bam was also supposed to fight King Kong Bundy, but then King Kong Bundy got a pneumonia. I think originally he was supposed to face him, but then he gets a pneumonia, and then they somehow incorporated Henry Godwin interfering in the Bam Bam versus Sid match, I think, and then that's how that feud ended up going. Just little side notes how we got.
Yeah, and they had Bundy was still at ringside for the Lumberjacks, but I mean he didn't look. He looked a little fatigued.
Yeah.
So, and then this was also the last night for the Roadie and Jeff Jarrett because after this they walked out.
Yeah, we'll get into that. During the Jeff Jarrett match. We'll get all into that.
So they did have one dark match. It was nothing big. It was Skip beating Aldo Montoya. Okay, moving on.
The Portuguese Man of War.
Just incredible.
With the jockstrap on his face.
Oh my God. The opening match was the returning 1-2-3 Kid versus the Roadie, and this is for payback for an injury he sustained several months back to his neck at the hands of the Roadie. And of course, it's hard to watch this match now knowing that this is X-Pac and Road Dogg, but this is not 1998 yet.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
The match itself wasn't bad. I thought it was a little crazy with he's coming back from a neck injury, and you finish the match off with a pile driver from the top rope to pin him. I thought was, and I know he tried to hold back a little bit on it, just so he wouldn't hurt him. I just thought it was poor taste to do that to a guy that just came back from a neck injury.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm pretty sure they had it planned, and so maybe I
hope so.
Kid wanted to do it. That was a good match. 1-2-3 Kid is like a great worker, man.
Oh yeah,
it's exciting, like to watch his work. He knew what he knew
when he can cut the mustard.
Yeah, exactly. They showed Jeff Jarrett in the back that he wasn't even paying attention.
He was looking at the TV, just waving it off because he's gonna be singing that night.
Right, and we'll get into this because later on they were actually supposed to break up this night, and they were actually supposed to show it. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. But I thought
the whole Doc Hendricks having a fit. I love that.
Yeah, but I thought this match was solid. It was good.
It was, and the Roadie gets the victory over the 1-2-3 Kid, and this is good things for the Roadie to come. Later on we all know what he becomes. Our next match was Razor Ramon and Savio Vega versus Men on a Mission. King Mabel and Sir Mo. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Yeah, Razor had that rib injury because they it's Mabel that beat him up, right?
Yeah.
Mabel that beat him up.
Yeah, because that kept him out of the King of the Ring tournament, and Savio Vega took his place and went all the way to the finals against Mabel. And this match wasn't bad. I mean, Razor wouldn't back down from the 500-pound mammoth. The Men on a Mission do get the victory. Obviously, they have to because it's the momentum that Mabel's going to be building going into SummerSlam. They haven't talked about it yet, but we will be able to discuss it in the main event as it started there. for his title match.
Mhm.
Men on a Mission do beat Razor and Savio. Nice belly to belly suplex by Mabel on Razor Ramon got him the victory. And I felt bad for Razor, having to get the loss. It's hard to see him not in the Intercontinental title
Yeah, I felt the
match
same. I
with the
felt the
Big
same.
Show.
Felt the same exact way. Them relegating him to tag team matches, like
Like him and the belt and him were an item over those
yeah,
few years, and
yeah,
just not seeing him in the match it didn't make any sense.
yeah.
But that would change in the following month. The After this match, they did the concert. Oh boy, "Whip My Baby Tonight," which
Man,
we all find out later that he lip synced, and it was actually Rhodey or Road Dogg that sung. They
in
held
real life too. He actually really did sing it though.
yes, he hung him out to dry because he actually came out on a Monday Night Raw later on and proved it, singing the actual song. I mean, now you can tell, that we
Yeah,
know this. You can hear Road Dogg's
yeah, yeah.
voice,
But
but we didn't know that then.
Jared did a pretty good job lip syncing though. I thought he actually did a pretty good job watching
Wait a
it.
minute,
Not
wait a
that
minute.
bad.
Did you just give that guy a compliment?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not a big Jeff Jarrett fan, but I gotta.
Jesus, we
I'm
got a
telling you, he
heart
actually did
attack
a pretty
here.
good job. And not for nothing. They played that, and then they played that song everywhere. I remember they used to play it on Superstars of Wrestling, and I believe they
It's a
played it on
catchy
Raw.
tune.
Yeah, they played it. Yeah.
They even had it on one of the volume CDs
Did
that they
they?
had come out
Yeah.
with that year.
I remember they played that song everywhere. So
Oh yeah,
Jeff
they
Jarrett
did.
gets a lot of airtime on this pay-per-view.
Seriously,
Which is
for a guy
it's
that's about
ironic.
to lose in a little bit.
Exactly. Well, the guy's about to walk out. How about that? They didn't know that at
Yes.
the time though. So
No, good.
yeah.
And the concert went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. And then of course he says later on, "I'm going to keep my Intercontinental Championship." Well, that'll remain to be
No.
seen. Our next match was Bam Bam Bigelow versus Henry Godwin, the pig farmer or whatever. Oh my God.
Yeah, Vince has some sort of an obsession with guys with overalls, man.
Seriously.
Haystacks Calhoun,
Hillbilly
Hillbilly
Jim,
Jim, and
the
then
Uncle Elmer,
he brings in
the Henry and Phineas.
Henry and Phineas. I don't know. That was a bad year, man. 95 with all the
It,
gimmicks.
it really was, and
Yeah.
it starts at the bottom with those gimmicks, and then it ends with holding back Brett and Taker. We've
It's a
discussed
bad
it.
year. It's a transitional, but bad.
96 gets better.
Yeah, it
I
does.
will
But
I will
95,
say
95 is rough, but
96 is the year of the comebacks, where 95 is, look, can we just get through this
yeah.
and never talk about it again?
So we got this match.
This match wasn't bad. Godwin misses the knee off the top rope and gets Bigelow the victory. So they don't know yet that Bigelow's getting fed up with the click in the back. That was the reason why he exits
because
in
he
a few
does.
months.
Yeah, he doesn't last much longer. And it's slightly off topic, but not really. Remember when Doc Hendricks was like talking to the Lumberjacks, the babyface Lumberjacks? He was trying to like, oh, when you guys sold out, I saw a brand new car and something.
Oh yeah,
Bam Bam. He was accusing Bam Bam too. That Bam Bam song.
and I'm like, why
would
would he be why would he be doing that? He just left them.
I don't know.
And then the Smoking Guns, like, I saw two brand new trucks out there, and then Adam Bomb. He tried to buy the Bomb Squad, but
the Bomb Squad. How many members besides you? How many members of the Bomb Squad were they?
I don't know, maybe one more kid. Who knows?
Anyway,
I just thought, I thought the guy had potential.
He had a look, dude. It's just that.
And then eventually, I loved him later on in Chronic in WCW. I thought they did that pretty well.
They did, and then this one didn't they come to WWE for like 2 seconds, and then they didn't.
Yeah,
do anything, right?
they fought on a pay-per-view during the invasion.
Right?
Undertaker and Kane, yeah,
of course.
the tag titles.
Why would they do anything with them anyway?
It was a one-off. That was it.
Yeah, so the Bam Bam match was all right. But it was kind of like forgettable. It's not.
It is. And then Henry Godwin eventually is going to become a fan favorite after this.
He's better as a babyface, I think.
Yeah, but I liked them when they were like the serial Southerners after they came back from the LOD injury.
Oh,
when they were vicious, and then I liked them when they were known as Southern Justice. I thought that was pretty cool. But hey, who could forget Shanghai Pierce and Tex Slazenger from WCW? That's them. Yeah. Our next match was my favorite of the night. This was for the Intercontinental Championship. Double J Jeff Jarrett defending the title against Shawn Michaels. Shawn going for the 3-time champion, becoming champion.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Jeff Jarrett is actually a 3-time Intercontinental Champion at this point. I don't know if you remember. This was nonsense that happened a few months earlier than this. He fought Bob Sparkplug Holly on the Action Zone. I think they used to give it on Saturdays on USA, I think. And there was some he pinned Bob Sparkplug Holly, but he put his feet on the ropes. And then a second referee came out and said, "No, we got to restart the match." And then Holly pins Jeff Jarrett, and then Jeff Jarrett's leg is on the ropes. But Bob Holly won the Intercontinental Championship. But then by the end of the show, they say no, the title is now vacant. So Bob Holly doesn't even they don't even like consider him a former IC champ. Then they fought the next week for a vacant title, and Jeff Jarrett's the champion again. So he's the three-time champion, which is ridiculous at this point.
Oh God!
But I'll say something. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, listen. As much as I shit on Jeff Jarrett, like I will never forget that it's JEFFJA double R E double Z. Like I used to say that all the time. Me and my friend Peter used to say that all the time. It's just like it was ingrained in our head.
Catchy.
It was catchy, and he was good at getting heat. It's just that it was like his character was kind of bland, especially when he came back. I don't know.
This is why Jim Ross had told him, "We don't see you as a main event superstar," and that's the only reason why Bischoff brought him back in 2000, in '99 and 2000 was just because Ross told him that. Bischoff turned around and said, "Oh yeah, watch."
And of course, Russo loved him, so Russo pushed him. But
Russo is a putz. Okay.
Well, this match is Jeff Jarrett's best match of his career, I think.
It is.
That might be because of Sean, but
now it's not Sean's best match.
Yeah, but it's a good match. I mean, Jarrett's he's not a bad wrestler. Like he doesn't suck. You know, he's a decent worker in the ring.
He's the type of wrestler that between WCW and TNA, he was kind of like what they used to do with Roman. They're forcing you to see him as a champion.
Well, later on, you're talking about later on.
Yeah,
because over here he's still in the mid
card, which is why they said Mike Graham is quoted as saying,
"Broke 6,000 guitars, never drew a dime."
Exactly. So they force Jarrett upon you, and then you force these guys to say, "Well, if you're forcing him on us, that's great, but he's not a draw."
Yeah, but this match was good. This
was actually the longest match on the card. The next two matches add up to this match. This was a 20-minute knockdown, drag-out affair.
It's good.
I love the ending. Rhodey accidentally grabs Jarrett's leg, thinks he's got Sean. Jarrett turns around, look at him like, what the hell? Turns around, gets a little face of sweet chin music. Sean's the Intercontinental Champion.
How about I like when Rhodey was trying to help him cheat, and then Hebner kicked Rhodey's hand.
Oh yeah, Hebner was known for that, man. I love that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He would get physical with them.
So this is what I wanted to mention earlier. What was supposed to happen was they were supposed to get into a fight after the match because he cost them the match. Rhodey and Jeff Jarrett, excuse me, were supposed to get into a scuffle, and then they were supposed to break up, and then they were supposed to feud. That's where it was supposed to go. But something happened that they didn't. The backstage they didn't want them to do it. I guess Vince and whoever else didn't want them to have that fight in the ring for whatever reason, which I don't understand. They should have, and they were supposed to. The tape was supposed to mess up when he was singing. It was supposed to be revealed that he was lip singing, and then later on you find out that it was Road Dogg actually singing, and he was taking all the credit and he was holding Road Dogg back. But they end up not doing that. They scrap it, and then Jeff Jarrett was already upset at what was going on.
Well, they do it later on.
But I'm saying
down the road.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was supposed to be the two of them. That was supposed. Then they were supposed to fight. So they end up walking out after this. I think Jeff Jarrett was pretty much the one that got in Rhodey's ear and said, "Let's just get out of here." And they ended up walking out, and Vince was really, really pissed. But what I don't understand, so Vince was pissed, Bruce was pissed off, but they end up bringing him back for like 2 seconds at the end of the year. He shows up at In Your House, and he doesn't wrestle on the card, but then he fights in the Rumble '96, which is over 6-7 months after that.
Yeah.
And then he leaves right after that. So I don't understand why they would, if he walked out on the company, and why did you bring him back?
Jarrett was weird over those years because it's like he was 1 year here, 1 year there, 1 year here, because he comes back 2 more times. Once doing the whole NWA gimmick, where it was supposed to be a feud with the Undertaker.
Yes.
And then he comes back again.
Supposed to feud with Austin too, right?
He's supposed to feud with Austin, and then they wind up. He carries the IC title. He's Owen's partner. goes out in that housekeeping match or whatnot.
He said something too about Road Dogg, that they were gonna test Road Dogg, like drug test him, and he was like, "There's no way he's gonna pass that test." So I think that's part of the reason why they left too.
Yeah, but it was shortly, not too far down the road, that he got brought back.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the
yeah,
gimmick they
because he
gave
comes
him was
back.
so
Yeah,
cheesy.
he comes back before Jarrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes back before Jarrett. Yeah,
And then over the course of 96 through 97, they have him feuding with Rockabilly. And then
yeah.
eventually they just put the two of them together.
Either way, I just feel like that's a lost opportunity, because I thought that feud actually would have been pretty good. I think had it went the way that it was originally planned, with them breaking up and then them fighting. I mean,
Well, I
it's
mean,
been done
eventually,
before. It's been
yeah.
done before, but I thought it would have been good at that time with all the momentum and everything leading into it. They invested a lot of screen time for for those two, and the
I,
song and
I just
everything.
love how Doc Hendricks is standing there and he's like getting all. Jerry got into Roddy's face. Then Roddy
Yeah,
pushed him back. Then he hit him and he hit him back and he told him this and he told him that and I'm like,
but
dude,
we but
calm
we
down.
and we didn't know that they had already walked out.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we get this
sure.
match later on, obviously with DX,
But
facing Jerry, but it's just not the same
it's
as
not
what
the
it would have
same
been
as
now.
no, it's not. It's not.
But I mean, Jarrett always said, and this was on the Stone Cold interview on the network, that he always thought he never left giving WWE a black eye. He always thought he left on good graces
That's what he thought.
till he found out otherwise. Like he said, I never thought I left in bad standing because I was
Yeah.
always asked to come back later on.
That's
Well, it was
something,
one
but
too many times, Jeff.
that's like you break up with somebody and we broke up on good terms, according to you. But
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
maybe
According to
not.
her,
Right, it's a
not
whole
so
different
much.
story. Yeah, exactly. Or
Exactly.
vice versa for that matter. But
Yeah.
you know what's funny too? I think this is the match where Vince's mic goes off, and then
Yes, and
it's just
Lawler's
Lawler.
loving it.
Yeah, he's laughing. No, so
So, well, our next match was kind of it was sad to see because this is just where he is in the card. For the tag team championships, it's Owen Hart and Yokozuna defending the tag titles against the Allied Powers, Lex Luger and the British Bulldog.
and I'll say this: I did like the Allied Powers, because I did like Luger and I did like Bulldog, and I wanted
Yeah.
to see them win the titles, and I was hoping they were going to win the titles this night. Um,
Unfortunately, this is his last
yeah.
wrestling pay-per-view. He does show up at SummerSlam briefly, but he's not under contract.
They put them together to do nothing with them, because remember Bulldog turns on Luger not too long after this.
Yeah,
So why put them together to at least put the
then he
belts
goes
on them?
he goes up to Diesel, says my partner's not here. Will you put partner me? And then he turns on him, and then Bulldog turns bad.
Yeah, it's just
But this was sad to see.
yeah, the match.
They threw them together at WrestleMania, and then it's just like, all right, we're just gonna run with this.
And I never understood why Yokozuna and Owen were together, like a storyline wise. You find out later on it's because, well, Yoko's heavy and he's out of shape. We need to do something with him. We have to cover him.
Yeah.
So we'll put him with Owen, Owen is obviously a great wrestler, but you wasted Owen Hart throwing him in this tag team. Like him and Bulldog made sense as a tag team.
Yeah.
Right? Because brother-in-laws, Canadian connection.
Owen being with Yoko just guaranteed Owen to keep the title because of the size of Yoko.
And Owen has to do all the work.
Exactly.
Yoko can't really
the
move.
Colossal
He's out of
Connection.
shape. Yeah, he's out of shape, you know.
Haku had to do all of it.
But I thought the match was good because of Owen.
It was.
And Bulldog,
I love the fact that it started off Luger and Yoko, and you flash back to they talked about the Intrepid, and you look at SummerSlam 93.
What a fall from grace for both of them. Think about that.
Exactly.
Think about where they were 2 years earlier.
Yep. The previous year, Yoko was the champion, main event in WrestleMania. Now you're lucky if you get, and his last title shot comes a couple of months from now when they put all the belts up in that match, and then that's it for him.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked in this, it was funny, when Yoko falls down, he falls on Owen's leg, and then there's a little dissension in the ranks between the two of them. Yeah. And all of a sudden, now Yoko speaks great English. You can hear him. No more Banzai.
It was a preview. Here. It was a preview later on.
It was starting, yeah. And finally, they take care of business. They're fine with each other because Yoko will squash him.
Well, Luger had him beat. Owen interferes. He jumps off the top rope. They could have been the champions, but
exactly. But I have a feeling in the back of Vince's mind, either he didn't think Luger was going to resign, or he didn't want to resign him.
He wanted to hold Luger. That was a big deal. Jim Ross got into hot water, I think, because of that. Was it JR? No, I could be wrong. Don't guys. I may be wrong about that. Somebody got in trouble. I don't know if it was JJ Dillon. Somebody at the time. I'm not sure if Jim Ross was in charge of signings at that point. Later on, he becomes in charge of signings, but that was a big thing when Luger left. He wanted to hold on to Luger. Um, I just don't know what they were doing with those two in the tag team. I don't
I don't
know.
understand why he held him in limbo and not signing him. You have him show up at the SummerSlam based on his word as a free agent. Why you didn't lock him up at this point, I don't know. Like if you want to keep him and you know what WCW is in the midst of doing,
Where they were,
I would have signed him to a contract already.
they were going back and forth in negotiations. I don't think Luger didn't really want to be there either.
And Bischoff really didn't want to sign Luger.
No,
because remember he in an interview, Sting asked him if he can bring him back and be like, all right, I wasn't a fan of Luger. Let me just offer him the worst contract I can. This way, when he turns it down, I could tell Sting I tried.
And he said yes.
And he says yes.
Because that's how bad he wanted out of there. So
I don't blame him.
Either way, yeah.
The fall from grace over the last 2 years, we talked about this in the Luger episode. Where you were when you came in, as far as where you're at now.
It's just bad booking. It was just bad booking.
Very bad.
That's all. So,
but putting the two together, yes, I did like seeing the two of them together. I thought the entrance theme was cool. I liked the tag team camaraderie that they had. It wasn't bad. The only problem is you didn't put the belts on them. Yeah. That would have made sense if you did that.
Oh well.
So Owen and Yoko will keep the tag titles this night. And our final match of the evening, it was a lumberjack match. Big Daddy Cool Diesel defending the title against Don't Call Me Psycho Sid.
Because the match was so great at the first In Your House.
Oh yeah,
we had to do it again.
Exactly.
This time with lumberjacks. The only thing that was kind of cool at the time was that Diesel had his boys, had his 15, and Sid had his 15. But dude, did you see the cast of like just garbage gimmicks that were out there?
Man Mountain Rock,
Techno
Team 2000. Which one of them is Eric Watts. That he was one of them.
Yeah.
You had Aldo out there running around.
Holy man!
You had Duke the Dumpster Drosy. You had that pitiful Hunter Hearst Helmsley. No, I'm just kidding about that one. But he was out. He was out there.
Yeah, it was just.
It was just. You look at those 30 guys that they had there and go, Jesus, this is a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Which one of these guys would you actually give it to?
They had to do that just to mask the fact that these guys couldn't work with each other. They're too similar.
Yeah.
So they had the lumberjacks. They had the lumberjacks to add a different. So I guess it was smart in that sense. But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to see this. But Diesel comes out with his boy Shawn Michaels.
I love that.
Which is cool. And I always like seeing those two together. Two dudes with attitudes.
Yep.
So.
I mean, the match wasn't bad. You had the typical lumberjack thing where you throw them out in the ring so they get their butt kicked. I love how Shawn is just jumping around the whole ring, didn't care who it was. The one interesting thing I liked about this before Diesel pinned Sid was that his next challenger made himself known in this match, and that was Mabel.
Well, how about right before that, Diesel almost killing himself by jumping outside the ring to attack the lumberjacks. Yep. He jumped off the top over the top rope. That was crazy.
This is a guy with a surgically repaired elbow recently
and knees.
And yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, dude, you're not a cruiserweight.
Give him credit. He tried. At least he tried to do something different. But yeah, Mabel attacks him outside the ring, beats him up.
And even Sean's over there going, come on, get in the ring. I'm like, Sean, stop. He'll squash it. Stop.
You saw Sean was trying to steal a little bit of the spotlight.
Always. Come on, it's Sean.
Yeah.
Because now him and his boys run the show, sort of.
Because
you notice Bret Hart wasn't one of the lumberjacks.
Yeah. Not only that, he wants to get into that main event picture.
And he's going to be there soon enough. By this point, you can actually see it coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the match was a little better than the first one they had. At least this one was, a straight-up pin, and you didn't have a run-in disqualification. So now this feud is over.
But he wins with a big boot, right?
Yeah.
He's the one with a big boot.
No powerbomb. He just boot, pin. We're done. On to the next god-awful
Thank God.
Challenger.
Yeah, it only gets...
Well, it doesn't get any better for SummerSlam. I'm a firm believer that Vince watched this match at SummerSlam and looked at his guys and said, King of the Ring winner is no longer getting a title shot. This killed it right here. I always loved that concept. Okay, you won the tournament. You get a number one contender shot at SummerSlam. After this, we're not doing it anymore. And
eventually, why. Brock, it's many years later, but
Brock is the only one. Yeah, he was the next
2002,
one. 2002,
right? It's 2002. Yeah. That's long. 7 years.
Long ways away from it. That was
Yeah.
the last pay-per-view King of the Ring that they did.
Yeah.
Supposedly for 2023 they're bringing it back, but
Yeah, well, we'll see.
no word yet.
But yeah, this pay-per-view wasn't, it was
Like I
okay.
said, 280,000 views on this. The buy rate I think was a 0.75. It wasn't that good, but for a 2 hour event, I mean, what kind of numbers was Vince really looking for in this?
Yeah, I mean, Shawn versus Jeff Jarrett kind of like,
That helped the card,
that helped.
definitely. That was to me the
That helped
best
the
match on
card.
the card.
Oh, I mean, dude, it's not even close.
Exactly.
That's not saying much, but
I
yeah,
know.
they did the thing, So
Yeah.
that's in your house. We got some more in your houses coming up for you, so buckle up. It's gonna be a
Two
bumpy ride.
chaps with four straps.
Yeah. All right, so you guys make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.